Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the stocks that are in play today. Okay, so first up, let's look at ROKA. This is up 132% on the day. It is above 70 on RSI. You've got Fasto down here at 64, and so the big move today was the gap up open. Notice that there's a gap between high of day yesterday and low of day today. It did break above the middle Bollinger Band at 94. If the middle Bollinger Band turns into support, a new uptrend should begin. Notice there was a gap back here in August between low of day on this candle and high of day on this candle. That gap did fill today. So you've got a gap fill and a move above the 50-day simple moving average at 141. And so that is the key level to turn into support on a pullback. You want to see the top of the gap and the 50-day simple moving average hold. And the key level to break is the 100-day simple moving average at 202. If it can close above that level, you could see it run back up to this prior resistance level from July and August around 260 and possibly test the 200-day simple moving average at 306. Notice the giant volume spike and the PSAR bull flip. Okay, so take a look at LINU. It's making a really bullish move today. It has been working on breaking this red descending resistance line. Notice how that was the prior top. It broke above that level on Friday. It pulled back yesterday, and then now today it's back above that level. It is also breaking above the 200, 100, and 300-day simple moving averages. The 300-day simple moving average at 194, the blue line, is the key level to turn into support. You want to see a close above this August 30th closing price, and then the next key level to break is the closing price here from Friday. So if it can break above that level, then you could see a run back up to the threes and testing this prior 340, possibly running back up to 4. So this is really good. It broke above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average on Friday. Now it's helped turn those levels into support. It's above the middle Bollinger Band and starting a new uptrend. If the 300-day simple moving average turns into support, it's riding EMA 4 support higher, it will be trading above all the moving averages. The giant volume is a clue that it has more upside potential. Okay, so take a look at HMNY. This stock has been a beast. Congrats everyone. It just keeps pushing higher. This has been the dream swing trade. You know, very overbought on RSI at 95, Fasto at 96, so it's super frothy. No doubt. I mean, look, it's been riding EMA 4 for weeks here. Ever since it closed above EMA 4 back here in September, that level has been holding. It's been riding above the pink line. Today it's pushing well above the upper Bollinger Band, so it is, you know, once again very frothy. You know, the next key support level is way down here at the EMA 4 at 2149, so that would be a big pullback from the 2835 high right now. The big volume behind the move. When a stock is running like HMNY, you know, you want to look at different time frames. If you look here, this is showing that this is broke out above the 2016 level. You know, we posted this chart with updates, and it filled the jar to 11. Then it filled the jar back up here to this June resistance level at 13 to 14. And then when it broke above that level last week, that was signaling more upside, and now it's really pushing higher. I mean, this is so parabolic. Look at the move from the 2s all the way up to 28. You know, it's over 1,000% gainer. I mean, look at the MACD lines are super vertical, super steep. That is an unsustainable move. At some point, this run is going to end, and everybody's wondering where is going to be the top. Well, take a look at the weekly chart. You can see here, this each candle is 1 week of trading. The breakout that I was just discussing, the weekly chart smooths out the data from that daily chart, and notice the break above June resistance signaled more upside. It keeps pushing higher. Now it's breaking out above the high, the 17 high. That's the key level to turn into support on a pullback. The weekly chart can't get any stronger with the candles riding EMA 4 support higher. So now we've got a breakout on the daily chart, breakout on the weekly chart, and everyone's wondering where is resistance? Well, you just have to look a little further out. And so what we're going to look at now is a monthly chart. So this isn't, each candle doesn't represent 1 day, it doesn't represent 1 week. Each candle represents 1 month of trading. Okay, so now we've got this breakout going on in the monthly chart as well. And so last week it closed above the 200-month moving average. That was a huge move. Notice how that had been big resistance, the red line there. So the close above was signaling more upside potential. Now it's breaking out above 2016 resistance. You know, it's at a 52-week high here today for, you know, it's making a multi-year high. So notice that in order to find the last resistance, we have to go all the way back here to 2005. And so that's lining up. If you caught the video last night or you've been following along, you know, it's just above 30 here. So this 30 zone between 30 and 35 is going to be a crucial level. We might see a top happen like back here in 2005 once this 30 resistance zone gets hit. So keep an eye on it. Okay, let's take a look at MNKD. This is another stock that has just been a beast. You know, people tend to overtrade sometimes, and if you would just have loaded this MNKD chart, you know, when we first alerted it, you would still be rocking out. And so what happened was a lot of people back here got shaken out in June and July and August when it was pulling back. And so if you notice here, it formed this triangle pattern. Okay, so it came down, and then when it broke above resistance, that was a signal it was ready to take off higher. And so this close back here in August above the middle Bollinger Band, this was telling you that a new uptrend was going to begin. And so it started writing that EMA4, and then it came back. You know, it tested the middle Bollinger Band again. It broke below for a little bit. It tested that 200, but once it got back above in September, that was the signal that it was back on again. So you know, you could have exited on the break below the middle Bollinger Band and then jumped back in, and then notice you got rewarded. The candles have been riding EMA4 support ever since. It filled the jar back up into this December and January resistance levels. Notice how it broke above 4. We were looking for a possible break between the 4 to 450 resistance zone. That did happen last week, and then it formed 2 black candles, and it looked like maybe with the black candle on Friday and the black candle on Monday, maybe it was stalling out, but it just kept pushing higher. Today it's breaking out to a new level, so it's making this 52-week high, and it's really rocking. And so what we need to do now is we need to look at the weekly chart. And so if you look here at the MNKD weekly chart with each candle representing 1 week of trading, you can see how it's breaking out here above the June 2016 resistance level. That's going to be the key level to close above for the week. That's about at about 650 or so, just above between 620 and 650. If it can close above that, that's going to signal more upside. Then we've got 8 on deck from April, and then we've got 10 on deck from March. So to me, it looks like it's filling the jar. You know, the ultimate level to get to is up here at the 200 and 300 week moving averages in that 1650 to 17 resistance zone. So yeah, this week's candle is floating above the upper Bollinger Band. So if the candles do work back into the bands, EMA4 at 461 is your first support level, and then the big simple moving average to turn into support is that 100 week moving average at 395. Notice the giant volume behind the move. If you want to just play for a swing trade, and you're a swing trader and you're just looking for a long-term swing trade, this chart was perfect. If you would have loaded on the second week of August, notice how it broke above the middle Bollinger Band, above EMAs 4 and 8, and the candles just kept riding support higher. So you could have loaded here in August and kept riding if you were a swing trader and been heavily rewarded just doing nothing but just sitting back and counting your cash. Yeah, sometimes the best trade to make is no trade at all and just to keep riding. People overtrade. Okay, so let's look at IMNP. Okay, so now we've got this nice move setting up here. We've got RSI at 56. Okay, so it's in the 50 to 70 bull zone. Now you've got a bullish crossover here on Fasto. You want to see Fasto get back above 50, and so this stock had pulled back, and so it tested the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average here at 130 and 129 and 135. And so if this 130 support zone holds, that's what we're calling it, then it should continue the uptrend. Notice the share price. Okay, I thought that it had filled the gap, but it hasn't quite filled that gap yet. I thought it came down and filled it. Notice that there's a gap between these 2 candles, and so there's still a little bit of space left down to this level. So yeah, it came down and almost filled the gap, and now it's trying to push higher. Going forward, if the candles can stay above EMAs 4 and 8, it should get this uptrend going again. And then we've got resistance levels above are going to be this high close right here, which is the high of day today. And if it could break above that, then we're looking at a run up here to this 100-day simple moving average at 197. This is the ultimate target if this green line holds. If the green line holds, we're shooting for the gold line at 197, and it has to. If you see a close above this red horizontal resistance line, that should signal, which is high of day, which is currently at 157. That should signal that it wants to break out higher. Okay, so let's look at SCON. Okay, so this stock is heating up as well. It's up 17% today. Notice you've got RSI at 61, so this has got still room to run until the 70 overbought level. Fasto's still below 80. You've got the bulls in control on 80X, and so this is another one of those plays that pulled back, and then it held support, and then now it's bouncing again. And so this has got an uptrend going. It started an uptrend back here when it broke above the middle Bollinger Band. It came down, broke middle Bollinger Band support, bounced off the lower Bollinger Band, and came back above. And what the bullish development that happened last week was this close above the green line, the 50-day simple moving average at 109. And so we want to see that level hold. Now it's back above that level today. If the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average both at 109 turn into support, this uptrend should continue. What we're looking for now is a break above this 138, 139, 200, and 100-day simple moving average resistance level. That is the next target. It'll need to get above that level to make a run up here to the 300. It looks like it wants to push higher because what you have is a break above high close horizontal resistance today. Notice that the closing price from last Thursday was the key level to break. That's the top right here. And so the break above, it still needs to close above. We've got some more time left in the trading day, but if it can close above that level, it looks like it wants to push up to that 200-day simple moving average. If you look at the 15-minute chart, this sparked our attention in the chat when we saw this bullish volume spike. We sent out alerts, and notice how it broke above all the moving averages. This is the 300, 200, 50, and 100 moving averages with the simple moving average with the middle Bollinger Band, which is the 20 simple moving average. So it's trading above all the moving averages on the 15-minute chart, riding EMA 4 support higher. So that is a good setup. Let's look at WPCS. Okay, so this stock is breaking out as well. It's making a 52-week high today. It had this really tight Bollinger Bands going. Notice how tight the Bollinger Bands were down here. And so the action was super, super tight. And then when you had this candle right here break above all the moving averages and close above, notice that how it hadn't done that since back here, that signaled the start of the new uptrend. And since those levels have been holding, besides this one close down here to test that, it signaled more upside potential. Currently it's pushing higher. It's riding EMA's 4 and 8 support. Notice that EMA 8 has been holding this lime line during the run, and so you'd like to see that continue. It is pushing above the upper Bollinger Band today. If it works back in, you'd like to see EMA 4 at 190 hold. It's got really good volume behind the move. Look at all the volume, and there was zero volume before this. A little bit of front loading right here, and so it's breaking out. It's making a nice run, and so what we need to do is we need to look at the weekly chart, because if you could see here, it's making a 52-week high. It's the high of day, is pushing well up here into the 2015 levels. It's hitting August and what is this, June of 2015, and so that's going to be the key level to break. And so once again, look at the very tight Bollinger Bands. You can see here how tight the Bollinger Bands were leading up to this move. Okay, so this was signaling that a change in trend was coming soon. And so this break above the upper Bollinger Band 2 weeks ago on this white candle was signaling more upside potential. Now if the candles keep riding EMA's 4 and 8 support higher, the uptrend should continue. There's a cluster of support back here, which is what high of week is hitting right now. It needs to break above that to head higher. But you've got the 200-week moving average way up here at 767. So this had been trying to break above this 100-week simple moving average for the entire year, if you look at this, because this is a weekly chart. So like basically this whole year it's been working on this level, and it's finally breaking out above it, and it's turned that level into support, and it's heading higher. Those are all signals that there's more upside potential. Also, that giant volume down there, those big volume bars, that's always a big clue. Look at the big volume. It's the biggest volume since 2016 and 2015. So volume many times precedes price, even though it was a head fake back in the day. Okay, let's look at SRNE. Okay, so this stock is making a nice move here. It had really good follow through. We put out alerts yesterday that the chart was heating up, so congrats to everybody. Notice how this had the tight Bollinger Bands, and then yesterday it had the break above resistance. We let everybody know this was heating up, and then it came down and it hit the bottom of this gap. Notice there's a gap back here at the bottom of the gap, and then high close horizontal resistance from June and July. Well, today it broke above both levels. It came up, it's almost filled the gap. The top of the gap is up here in the 290s. The upper wick almost hit that, and it's hitting that 294, 200-day simple moving average resistance zone. So in order for SRNE to head higher, it's got to close above the top of the gap in the 200-day simple moving average. If those levels turn into resistance, you could see some consolidation, and then on a pullback, you want to see the top or the bottom of the gap and EMA4 at 214 turn into support. Notice that there's multiple green volume bars in a row with a huge volume bar today, and then you've got a spike and pullback off of high of day forming a long upper wick. You know, it looks like a climax spike, so you could see some consolidation tomorrow, even though this has been a really good move and it's been super strong. Congrats everyone. You know, RSI is up at 80 and overbought levels. Fasto did pull back with that upper wick, long upper wick forming. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. Check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com for more charts and technical analysis.